Right, so we'll do broadcast section, starting with Adrian first.
Morning, Slaven. Can you start with some injury news, please?
Yeah, Masuaku, he got a few days before Stoke game, he got a knock on his foot. So, and then he didn't train for a few days. It's nothing broken, nothing there, but it's very sore, his toe. And he played against Stoke, but he could only manage for 45 minutes. And then he's going to try today, and depending on this, we're going to decide for tomorrow night. Andy, he trained individually a couple of days now, and he's going to try today now in a training, and then we're going to see. Apart from that, it all stays the same.
How would you assess Andy's chances of featuring tomorrow?
Same question as before Stoke. I hope that he's going to be okay for Stoke game, but he wasn't. So I don't know. If you ask me in 1 hour or 1.5 hour time, I will know, but not now. It's still early.
Given all the progress you made in your first season last year, would you have been surprised if someone had said to you 12 months ago that you'd be going into May still needing points to stay up?
Would I be surprised? Yeah, in a bit, yeah. But knowing that the Premier League, we know always that the Premier League is the most demanding one and the most difficult one. So we didn't want to be in this position, but we are.
How much of a relief, though, would it be to get the points that you need against in a match as big as this, especially for your supporters?
I mean, this is a big match anyway. I mean, it's a derby anyway. Whether you need the points or not, but especially now, like tomorrow, Friday night, derby game against Spurs at our stadium. They need points, we need points, so it's a massive game for them, and it's a massive game for us, of course. And of course, that we're going to try tomorrow to get that point or points that will definitely, mathematically and theoretically, secure our status.
Massive game, as you say, particularly for your supporters who'd love to obviously derail Tottenham's charge towards their title challenge anyway. How mindful are your players of how your supporters feel about this game? Will that serve as motivation to them?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need an extra motivation when you play against Tottenham. If we remember last season's game at Upton Park when we beat them 1-0, it was one of the most electric atmospheres last season. And then we also played a good game against them at White Hart Lane this season when we were leading up to a couple of minutes to go, and then unfortunately we conceded 2 goals in 2 or 3 minutes. So it's a massive one, you know. It's a big game. It's a big game for us. It's a big game for us supporters. It's a derby game. It is a London derby under the lights, which makes it also a bit more special. So massive one. And we are ready for that, of course.
What have you made of all the stories in recent days suggesting you've only got 2 games to save your job, other ones saying that you've got until the end of the season? Do you feel that you've done enough this season to...
It's not the time to talk about it. I said it like few weeks ago that now it's not about individuals, it's about the club. I didn't read or hear a lot of stories. That was one story from the source or whatever, but I'm very calm. I'm totally focused and concentrated on the game tomorrow.
Do you think the owners will assess you over 2 seasons? Is that what you would...
I don't know, you know. I told you now, like, the only thing that I'm thinking about since the Stoke game is it's a game against Spurs, and that's all I can say about it, really. I've been asked that kind of questions few times, more than a few times this in the last few months, and I always answer them in the same way.
I think Chelsea, United, Manchester City, Arsenal have all come to your ground this season and won relatively comfortably, some big defeats in there as well. What's going to have to be different against the Tottenham side that's won the last 9 league games for you to beat them?
Well, they are the club for me that's playing the best football. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Chelsea well deserved to be on top and all that, because they didn't have a hole in their season. But Spurs are playing at the moment and throughout the whole season maybe the best football, and they're playing really good. They're a really good team with great individuals, and of course when you play against those kind of teams, home or away, you have to be first of all you have to stay focused and compact and I would say concentrate throughout the whole 90 minutes, and that is the key. Of course, apart from that, you have to make something up front to use maybe some of their mistakes if they make it.
You only lost 3 games at home at Tottenham Park last season. I think this season all but 2 of your wins at home have come against teams in the bottom 5. What's changed as regards home form? Because most of your squad, the nucleus of that squad compared to last season, is as it was.
Well, it's not as it was. If you look at the roster, at the paper like that we have, you can say that. But if you have a look at how many of them were available throughout the season, you can see there a huge difference that we had so many injuries. But as I said, I don't want to talk about the season now. I don't want to talk about that reasons for that. I want to talk about Spurs game, But that what you just said, it's not that it's not true, but it's totally opposite. We were without many players, especially from that area that you need on the positions to score goals and to win the games. We are nowhere near last year in the terms of who can we pick of options.
You mentioned Tottenham just then. What have you made of them in the last few months? Do you think they're capable of taking this title race all the way to the wire against Chelsea?
Look, I said I have nothing but praise for them, and I'm like watching them the whole season, and sometimes I go like, yeah, but how did Chelsea manage to make that gap? Because Tottenham has been really good throughout the whole season. And then I remember that one period, there were a couple of times without Harry Kane. Yeah, but this second one was not so bad as the first one was. So in that first one, they lost few games, or they drew few games that if you are challenging for the title, you can't afford really. And so it was that period. Before that and after that, especially now in the last couple of months, you can see their results. I mean, they are winning a lot of games. Every game they play, they win. So they are a team that is in form. Okay. Last couple of away games, they won both of them. They won against Swansea and they won against Palace. But in both of them, they were like they were not that impressive, and they won the games that could have easily be drawn or even lost against Swansea.
I must ask you about transfers. You've been linked strongly with Jermaine Defoe in the last couple of days. Are you trying to do a deal to get him back to this club?
But again,
I'm hopeful.
Like my situation now, it's not the time to talk about transfers. We are talking about them in the rooms or whatever, with the staff and with the scouts and with the club, with the board. But now it's all Tottenham.
Do you want to?
It's all Tottenham.
Just finally, Aaron Lennon has brought some mental health issues to the fore this week. Do you believe that, as somebody who's been in the sport for 30, 35 years, do you believe that there's enough understanding of mental health issues in sport? And,
Yeah, look, I think the clubs are trying, but it's the way it is, it's like, it's the pressure. The pressure was always there, the players were always under pressure from the fans, from the media, but now it is massive, and it's very hard for the players, because we are forgetting that they're like the kids with a bit more ability, with a lot more fame, with a lot more money, and all that. And it's not easy to cope with the pressure, and unfortunately, he's not the first one and the last one to, I would say, break under that. So the clubs are trying, but everybody that's involved in football should do more, because especially with the players like that, they are young and all that, and with this kind of a black and white media, you know, one day you are king, the next day you are zero, nothing, and all that, and with the kind of the media that, with the social media, that you really know what the fan from New Zealand is thinking about you in no time, in like this. Before it wasn't the case, but because the world is so open now, because of the media, it's very hard for the players to cope with that criticism. There's.
Would you say, bearing in mind the form that Spurs are in at the moment, is it a really bad time to be facing them, or do you not think about that?
I don't think about it. Well, it's a time to face them. You know, they are in form. Yes, they are in form, but they are now in form for last couple of months, and they are playing good. And of course, we have to be aware of that. And but as I said, you know, you gotta be positive. We are positive. We are 4 games unbeaten. We have like 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games, and their last 2 away performances, they are giving us hope and also the reason to believe. And we always done home good against them. So yes, they are playing really good football, electric, and with confidence, with pace, with physicality, with everything, with passing, with changing the positions and all that. They have some players who are really in good form now, but our form improved also, and we are positive and optimistic.
We've talked about clean sheets before. You were struggling from January up until, as you say, last 3 games. Clean sheets, how crucial is that going to be?
It is crucial, you know. The clean sheets are not giving only the confidence to back 3, 4, or 5 or whatever. They're giving it to the whole team, and it's a pattern. I mean, it's a great cornerstone to come into the football game. So 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games, they boosted our confidence, and we know, because it was very, very recently, few times, 3 times out of 4, without being extremely lucky, you know. I think we deserved all 3 of them, and so now we know. It's good because now we know what you have to do as an individual and as a team to hopefully get another one.
Just finally, we've spoken before that you don't want to focus on individuals and you don't want to focus on your future, but just as a generic answer, how do you feel when you're constantly, every week, being asked about your future at West Ham?
Well, I'm not enjoying it, of course, but to be fair, does it affect my preparations? No, not a single bit, to be fair, and that's it, yeah.
Morning, Slaven.
Morning.
Tottenham have won 9 Premier League games in a row. Presumably they're trying to make it the perfect 10 tomorrow evening. Simple question, how do you stop them?
Well, they're very versatile. I mean, sometimes you know where the ball is going to be played, but because of the good ball or of the pace of that game, or because of, at the end, of the individual quality, that you know the ball is going to come there, but the individuals are capable of beating the opponents and all that. It's got to be teamwork, and you can't carry passengers in those kind of games. So you need all 11 players to be really behind the ball and good, and to do their job with or without the ball. And that's what we are planning to do, knowing it's going to be hard because they won, as you said, last 9 Premier League games. But in few of them it wasn't easy for them also, especially the way the couple of them that I spoke about, there are a couple of away games against Palace and against Swansea. It wasn't easy. Both teams defended really well against them. Of course, you gotta be a little bit lucky, and also you need some individual actions when they break you and all that. But it is possible, and those couple of teams shown us that is possible. Although they didn't get the result at the end, but they were really close to it.
And a question on derbies, I think anywhere in football, especially in the Premier League, always very intense, very unpredictable, you could say, whether it's the Merseyside derby, the Manchester derby. As a manager of a London club, this is something Arsene Wenger has talked about before, do you feel a little bit disadvantaged in a way that you have so many London derbies and that every sort of 4 or 5 games you're playing an Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Tottenham or a Crystal Palace, or even a Watford, you know, a game that the fans particularly get themselves up?
Yes, in one hand, yeah, all right, but then in the other hand, your players are also up for that game, maybe more than for other games, because they are derbies. So the derbies are always good to have, okay, and I know what Arsene said about that you have like 1/3 of the games are derby games for Arsenal, for Spurs, for us, for them, but the derbies are always good because the good players are looking for the derbies, you know, to play in them, to be involved in them.
And Fred, another brief question on your future. It's understood that West Ham assess everybody's position, playing staff, backroom staff, coaching staff, at the end of every season. Is this your understanding, and is it something that you're comfortable with?
I answered that question so many times. You know, I have my contract. It's not that my contract is running out now. Then at the end of the season, I have another year, and I'm concentrated on my job like the same as I was last season when we were like there or whatever. And even then the talks about new contract didn't affect me. I didn't dream about playing about them. I didn't knock on doors, never. And I'm the same now. I'm doing my job, and as I said now, no matter how long your contract is, it's about your next few performances, like we spoke about the players. It's about your next performances to improve your chances to get another one or whatever, or to be in trouble.
Okay, and final question for me, something slightly different. The FA announced this week that they are going to be trialling sin bins in football from the 7th tier downwards, and depending on how those trials go, it may then be opened up to a wider pool. I mean, obviously, I think a long way away from it ever coming into the top flight in England, but as a Premier League manager, in principle, do sin bins, the practice of sending someone off for 5-10 minutes, is that something that's workable, do you think? I
read it yesterday, you know, and I have no opinion about that, to be fair. Sounds interesting, but then, like with everything, you know, the people would ask for every one challenge to be like that, and then it could be 5-a-side game after. It could be 7s like in rugby, you know. So I don't know. I think that rule in football is okay now. The rule with yellow card and red card and bad challenge that much, little challenge, I don't know, last man one game or whatever, it's good. I personally have a feeling that there's no need to change anything there.
Cameras off, please.